Chertsey. That was one of the wheels of John Lennon's Rose. It's a gas. If you're over 80, that means it's Fan. £6,000 worth of 1965 Phantom, inside almost as marvellous as out. Well, perhaps not quite. Now that the supercar has been dolled up in the grand manner, not even a Beatle could wish for more.
Hey, Ron, welcome back. We've moved downstairs in the Royal BC Museum, and we're talking a little history now.
We certainly are. We have something priceless behind us, a car that could tell a million stories, and here to share a few of them with us is Dr. Lorne Hammond. How are you?
Oh, I'm just fabulous.
So tell us about this wonderful vehicle.
When I came here as a curator, I was responsible for everything from a thimble up, and I was shocked to find out one of the responsibilities was John Lennon's Rolls-Royce. Like, what?
Tell us about the car and how it came into the collection for the museum.
Well, the car's story began in 1964. John Lennon decided he was going to buy a car. He didn't have a driver's license at the time, but he ordered the most expensive Rolls-Royce he could get, the Phantom 5, custom body, coachwork, everything. It was delivered the next spring. He had a radio telephone, something very new, a refrigerator. Later, he modified it for a double bed.
Now, a double bed in a vehicle, only John Lennon, but there was a purpose. Why did he put a bed into the car?
He was on his way to Spain, where he was starring in a film. This is also one of the first Rolls-Royce with tinted windows, and that was a new experiment in privacy.
What color was it when it was delivered to Mr. Lennon?
It was delivered, it was Valentine's black, and that was the color when this car took the Beatles to Buckingham Palace to receive their MBEs.
How do you find that out? I mean, that this was actually the car. I mean, because this is a really interesting part of your job as well, is continuing to accumulate the history of this vehicle and how it fits in.
When you have an object like this, it's a continual story of research. And last year, Pathé News put on their website a whole bunch of film footage from there. And we knew what the original license plate was, and they're fixed with English cars. And so slowly you're going through it frame by frame, and there's the plate.
Tell us a little bit about the time that and who and how it was painted with the psychedelic yellow paint.
Well, this started with a Dutch collective called The Fool. Julian Lennon was quite young, and John needed a playhouse for him. And they suggested getting a gypsy caravan, which they had painted up in Chertsey. And they suggested, why not paint the car to match?
Why not?
But was it the collective that did the car? Because this is a story that's sort of been swirling around for a little while. And
that's the story as we knew it for about 10 or 15 years. And then we were contacted by the daughter of the artist. And it was painted by Steve Weaver. And so we have all the documentation. We also have a fax from the Dutch collective. And they said, no, we suggested it, but we didn't actually paint it. So we've been learning the story of Steve Weaver, who passed away in 1976, and this is his masterpiece.
What a legacy. So, Lauren, you're going to open it up. Are we going to find Geraldo Rivera inside?
You never know.
Okay. So, Lauren just opened up the doors for us, and I have to say, smells like history, people.
They used to refer to this as the Yellow Submarine, because once you're in it and you close those windows, you really are submerged in the public.
So where is the bed?
It's in the seat here. It's very hard to see because it's all done in black, but it actually pulls forward and folds down.
And what else is in there? What else is customized by John Lennon?
Well, they went back and forth over televisions. The first portable televisions, there were several different experimental models. They tried to get that done. This car has its own telephone number.
At the time that this was painted this color, it was a sacrilege for a Rolls-Royce to be painted in this regard. What was the public reaction?
Shock and horror. They were already shocked that the Beatles had given their medals back to the Queen. Then he did this to the Rolls-Royce, and a little old lady with an umbrella is said to have pounded on the car in London going, "You swine, what a thing to do to a Rolls-Royce." And Rolls-Royce would not do this paint job. For a while there, they were very embarrassed about what had occurred and didn't realize that what was happening was this transformation into a 20th century icon.
What do you think it's valued at? Of course, it's been, maybe you can tell us the history of how it was auctioned and who bought it.
John was killed in December of 1980, and it went to public auction in 1985 in the recession.
And a young man named Jim Patterson comes into the story.
Jim Patterson's Ripley's Believe It or Not was one of his operations in the United States, and he was hankering to own the most expensive car in the world.
Now, what did they expect it to be auctioned off at, and what did Jimmy Patterson end up paying for it?
It was a pretty wild auction. They expected $250,000, maybe $300,000 for a vintage Rolls-Royce. When the hammer went down, it was $2.3 million.
What? So you have no idea. That was 1985, and obviously it's been donated by Mr. Patterson to the Royal BC Museum, but no guesses as to what this would actually be worth.
Well, when Mr. Patterson was made the chairman for Expo 86, one of the themes was transportation. And so he transferred the car up to Canada and put it on display. So a lot of people in Vancouver would have seen it in Expo 86.
Yeah.
And when it closed, he gave it to the province for $1.
Jim Patterson.
Jimmy Patterson.
That's what we love about
Now,
that
how
man.
long is it on display here? Because it's not always in the front lobby as we're seeing it today. How long will it be here for?
It's here for the summer, and it's usually here through the winter. We'll be taking it off display very briefly for some maintenance.
Absolutely amazing to be standing next to John Lennon's Rolls-Royce. Of course, you can come and check it out for yourself. Want to go for a spin?
I was thinking
Mark, give me the keys.
I was thinking maybe we could check out the
Oh,
bed thing.
really?
No.
Michael? Gross.